It's actually like 5 colors. But what's not 5 colors is the deck we're about to play here. This is Black-Red Pyromancers. And I say Pyromancers because we are playing Sedgemoor Witch. So for anyone who has not seen this yet, Sedgemoor Witch is a new card. Where's this preview pane? I had it before, now it's gone. Anyway, Sedgemoor Witch is a card from Strixhaven. 3 mana, 3/2 menace, ward, pay 3 life. So if your opponent wants to try to kill your Sedgemoor Witch, they're going to have to pay an extra 3 life to target it. And she also has a Magecraft ability. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, you create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. This is very similar text to Young Pyromancer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 1/1 red elemental creature token. So between these 2 cards, we have a whole bunch of payoffs for playing instants and sorceries, creating tokens to go wide and kill people. As with the Mardu Pyromancer, Black-Red Pyromancer decks of yore, we're pairing that up with a bunch of discard, a bunch of cheap removal, Cling to Dust, Lightning Bolt, and Village Rites. So all of these cards are able to trigger either of our creatures. Village Rites, of course, says as an additional cost, sack a creature, and we draw 2 cards. These cards, thanks for the sub there, Liz. These cards just synergize well with what the Young Pyromancer and Sedgemoor Witch are doing. Village Rites can also synergize with Kroxa. And then we've got Dreadhorde Arcanist in here. Dreadhorde Arcanist has 1 power. Whenever it attacks, we can cast instant or sorcery card with mana value less than or equal to its power, which is 1, which is any of these cards for free, giving us more triggers on Young Pyromancer or Sedgemoor Witch without having to spend more mana. So a great curve for this deck can be turn 1 discard, turn 2 Dreadhorde, turn 3 Sedgemoor Witch or Young Pyromancer. Dreadhorde casts a card, and we put out a token off of that. And then we've also got Bedlam Revelers on the top for sort of go over the top, refuel our hand kind of thing. Kolaghan's Command to rebuy creatures. And as I mentioned before, Kroxa, who is going to just grind people into the dirt. The one thing this deck is missing, and I think it's perhaps going to be a major flaw that we're going to have problems with, is a total lack of Blood Moons in the main or side. I understand that that's not a thing that this deck synergizes with in any way, and that was the case before. Mardu Pyromancer played Lingering Souls to go wide with Young Pyromancer, and that deck played 2 or 3, and I'm sure eventually even 4 Blood Moons. And the lack of Blood Moon here makes me a little nervous. Just in a large number of matchups, discard spells into Blood Moon is just such a good way to get free wins, basically. And Modern is a format where your opponents on combo decks are going to try to get free wins by blanking all your removal. Your opponents on control decks are going to do a very similar thing, and the creature decks are just unbelievably powerful, and being able to lock out humans by turning off all their mana and then shattering their Aether Vial is awesome. So a little bit of concern about that, but we'll see as we go through. We've got Cleansing Wildfires in the sideboard, 4 of them, not surprising. I think big mana is going to be a problematic matchup. Everything else is just bits and pieces. Deathmark is a very interesting card you don't see very often. This is destroy target white or green creature. I guess it's for Heliod, but being a sorcery, it's not particularly impressive. Grim Lavamancer is sweet. Love that card. Plague Engineer is nice. Collective Brutality is fine. Infernal Reckoning. Exile target colorless creature. You gain life equal to its power. You can use this against Walking Ballista and Heliod, but I don't think you'd bring it in there. I think this is more for the Eldrazi decks. But I don't think it's particularly right. Anyway, we're going to try to figure this out as we go. I have not particularly high hopes for this deck, but it is possible it is better than it looks. And I'm excited to play some just fair, mopey mid-range. It does look a lot like a Pioneer deck, Lizzie. Back to Paul Sor's question. Do you consider the Lurrus Bring to Light decks to be control? What about the 4-color Scapeshift decks? Yes, they're both control decks. They're just different kinds of control decks. So the Lurrus BTL deck is very much like a hard control deck that has Bring to Light for Valky, as an unbelievably powerful line, but that's actually very similar to just casting a Teferi Hero of Dominaria. The Scapeshift deck is what I would refer to as a combo, a control deck with a combo kill. Very much like the Velomachus deck is a combo deck that has a mid-range backup plan, the Taking Turns plan. So first draw, hitting the good stuff. These kind of distinctions are largely kind of pointless. It's not too important to get hung up on what type of deck the deck is. What you need to do overall is start thinking on... Sorry, person knows me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Scapeshift deck is definitely like a lot more proactive, and the BTL Lurrus deck is a lot more of a draw go hard control kind of deck. You just sit back most of the time and you don't not taking a lot of proactive actions. I don't know if I'm supposed to keep the third land here. We don't have a huge number of higher CMC spells. We've got a really good curve here, but I would like to draw more threat. Ooh, my goodness. Okay. Well, Dreadhorde is not living through anything. We do have a K command to eventually pick it up again. I'm going to take the Mariner just because that card seems like a pain in the butt for us. Jeskai stuff. Jeskai stuff. The reason why I'm thinking about this is to reduce the scope of what I practice at first to get better, if that makes sense. I used to really like Bant Snow decks last year, which were draw go. I figured the successor now are Espierka and Lurrus Bring to Light. Yeah. Same with like Blue Moon. If you play a version of Blue Moon that is like a full like hard control deck, it's not playing any Emrakuls, none of that nonsense. If you play blue-white control, that still exists sometimes, or blue-black control, that still exists sometimes. Like the real hard control decks, yeah. Basically, they're looking to like grind out and get as many 2-for-1s as they can until the point where their opponents just run out of resources and they win the game. The Bring to Light Valky deck obviously has a really, really good... if you like Ephemerate, you can play in that direction very strong. Yeah, there's definitely a number of Ephemerate decks that are pretty impressive. Okay, they still have the Plarg in their hand. Return target creature and shock. But we've got the Dreadbore next turn anyway. Yeah, Esperka and Lurrus Bring to Light are very similar kind of decks to what you were talking. Oh, they've got a Dwarven Mine. They called it a mine. A mine! Okay. I'm definitely killing that thing. I just know they have a Lightning Bolt in their hand, so I'm just not mucking around trying to wait out finding stuff to get the Sedgemoor Witch in. I'm just going to use her as a 3/2 Menace Beater. Yep. Plus Plarg. So they're down 2 of their Lightning Bolts. They have 1 left. But yeah, I mean, Panzer, by now you should be able to pretty easily just like look at a deck and see if it's a sort of draw go deck or not. I guess I have to Thoughtseize them first to get rid of this Lightning Bolt. They can loot and then hit their next mana and then just start chain casting off of Plarg, but that's fine. I guess they'll fetch and bolt me in response. That's fine. Not great, but fine. Anyway, you should be able to figure out which decks are Drago. I mean, they're mostly like decks where almost everything is an instant. Usually, eventually, their win condition has to be some kind of sorcery speed thing, be it a Planeswalker or Brings Light for Scapeshift or something like that. But yeah, sorry, and then Go Chicken Fries comment on there are a bunch of creature-based decks that use Ephemerate in a very control-like manner to do stuff. Young Peasy. Yikes! That was a good draw. Whew. That's a lot of scries. Damn. Okay, Sedgemoor Witch trades for 2 of their creatures no matter what. But you're gonna get 3 damn treasures next turn? Oof. Yeah, I think I need to try to trade off. They just take it. Okay, so they almost have Magda's ability to go off here. Tap an untapped creature. So 1, 2, 3. They can make 4 treasures right now. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, bang. And also hit me for 8, 9, 10. Probably 10. Does not attack. Okay, fair enough. Wheel. Guess we're about to find out what hotness they're going for here. These don't have trample anymore, right? Good. Good little while there where those always had trample. Uh-huh. Opponent? There you go. What's my favorite playmat? That's my own custom design playmat, which is over here. I designed my own playmat. I think I have the design somewhere on my computer. Rubber. I don't know if there's enough light here. Big Izzet symbol covered in lightning and sort of red and blue and purpley colors, and it says, "Don't just have one idea, have all of them." I did t-shirt designs for the LGS I was working at for every single guild, and I grabbed flavor text from sort of famous cards for them. This was during Guilds of Ravnica and Ravnica Allegiance, because I thought we could make some good money. We already sold custom printed t-shirts, and so I was like, hey, here's a bunch of designs that I think we could do really well with, and then they just never got them printed in time. I told them ahead of time. I got it designed on time, but they just didn't do it. Which is fine, I get it. But anyway, then I had the design, so I had my friend help me sort of mock that up, and then yeah. I'm assuming there's going to be an Embercleave here, and I'm just going to die. Also, Duragar Hedge Mage? Neat. So Embercleave on Veteran Motorist is going to do 10. Eldrazi Monument. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Exactsies. If we could sack one pest or something, we'd be okay, but I can't die to Exactsies. That was sick. Let's see, Photoshop Rescue, here we go. T-shirt designs, all shirts preview. So there's that one. So there, that one, that one, that one, that one. This one I got printed onto a playmat for my friend. There's that one. That one. That one. That one. And that one. Feel like Jiggy would enjoy that one. Life has no mistakes, only experiments. All right. Pregu. Kolaghan's command, not so much. This is fine. No, it won't be the first Plague Engineer on Dwarf Witch King because I've had Plague Engineer on Dwarf against me. If you're playing, if you're playing a Indomitable Creativity Dwarven Mind deck and your opponent has Plague Engineer, they will definitely Plague Engineer on Dwarf against you. That is 110% something that's going to happen. So I probably don't need Brutality. And then, yeah, these guys are all fine. K-Command's probably a little slow. Let's go out Thoughtseizes a little bit. Simic one's awesome. I should expand those all the way I did with the playmat one, because the playmat one also makes a great desktop. I had that somewhere. So those are all from different flavor texts on cards that have to do with different guilds. So I couldn't honestly tell you which cards from which flavor text is from which card anymore. They're just piecemeal. I honestly don't remember. I think Enter the Infinite is the Is It one. Don't just have one idea, have all of them, or it's like a slight paraphrase. Not Grull Then Die is definitely on a card. I think it might be Grull Charm. Auriok Champion. Probably have to take that. Yeah. Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you which cards they're from anymore. I know it took me a couple hours to go through every single flavor text from Ravnica, searching for the right one for each guild. Some of them I found very quickly. Putting the Fun in Funeral, I think, is from Ravnica Allegiance. I think that's in the new set. Top on the scry. Love to see that. Plargy. All right. Inquisition. Here to party. What's up, Caustic? Nice draw. Boing. Macabre Mockery. There you go. Chillin', dude. Well, we just smashed up a bunch of people in the Mana Traders event by playing Velomachus turns, so that was great. Total at 4-1 right now. And now we're doing this thing, which is a little bit exciting. I don't need this Inquisition, and unfortunately my opponent doesn't seem to have any non-creature cards that are going to go in their graveyard, so I'm going to eat my own Inquisition there, which is a little goofy, but I wanted to find something. Land would have been good, but you can probably just play a second Dreadhorde this turn, just so that if they draw a removal, we still have one. I'm just not that excited about getting rid of their Moth-Dust Changeling. Not casting that anytime soon. Dreadhorde Arcanist. You will fall to the Dreadhorde opponent. Uh-oh. Oh no, Coco? Oh no. Gross. Oof. Can't Thoughtseize the top of their library. Not that Inquisition would help anyway, but he whiffed. That hurts. Yikes. Got those redundant Cocos out of the way. Nice. I like my opponent. They've got a good sense of humor. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's pest time, baby. We're going to make one whole pest. Trigger. Maybe I can draw another land. Oh, they played a Smuggler's Copter and I totally didn't notice. Oops. I don't know how or why I did that. That's fine. I didn't need the extra Dreadhorde Arcanist anyway. That's what I wanted to draw. Smuggler's Cup. They mill themselves for one. You'll love to see it. Oh no, they just chose not to do it. Cunning opponents. Choosing not to mill themselves for one. They could tap the Moth-Dust Changeling to animate the Smuggler's Copter, and then they could activate the Smuggler's Copter to give the Moth-Dust Changeling flying. Not saying it's good. Smash Prowess. Echoing Truth came in clutch versus 3 Swiftspears. That seems like a lucky draw. For them, and then not so much for them. Opponent discards planes, sure. So we'll go upstairs. Get dunked on, nerd. Hold on now, I'm gonna do it again. Unlimited power. Take 5. And an interesting turn sequence where you skipped playing land 3, only had a mine in hand, and went for end of turn growth looking for a fetch or mountain. Got there. Nice. Well played. Well played. Although if you find the fetch, the sequence works out similarly. Although your colors might be worse. So maybe that was worth doing. Cling is really bad here, huh? Let's get another Thoughtseize back in, and maybe one more Kicom now that I know they're playing Smuggler's Copter. Could also be really good against the Eldrazi Monument. Ugh. Oh, feels so good. Went for a run today. Oh, life is good. I tell you. So turn 3, you were planning on casting Kroxa and then Village Ritesing it in response to its sacrifice triggers. That's going to be fun. Plus, I get to look at the art on Village Rites, which is sick. Go. Get him, Inquisition. All right. So, Veteran Motorist it is. Be taking this one. Then we have Bolt for the Copter and Thoughtseize for their Bolt. Perfect. Getting standard PTSD. Winning on turn 3. They're all winning on turn 4. Yoink. Yep. Push. Some people ask, how could you push a bird? I'm asking, how could you push a copter? Just like standard 2014. Just like standard 2014 was meant to do. Whee! Well, bastards are whittling me down. Opponent does have a card in hand. I think getting Kroxa into play this turn is probably... Well, no. Let's play that Lavamancer. I have access to Lightning Bolt and Village Rites if they have a removal spell. Village Rites hitting Kroxa on the stack's kind of rad. Oh, yeah. Somehow we're the baddies in this matchup. I know, it feels so bad, Jig. Copter, sure. One hand washes the other. Love it. Played against deck yesterday. I played the 2-mana 1/3 that counters end of the battlefields, and then played Strict Proctor. All right, opponent. Top deck a 1-power creature, and you might be in this. Maybe. Top deck's Coco with 3 lands in play. That's my guess. About to find out. They said GG's. I'm guessing something that's not playable. Nine, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I'm not using the Pyromancer or the Lavamancer this turn, most likely. Discards Collective Company. Nailed it. Nailed it. Called shot. Streamer called shots. That's what it's all about. All right, I'll be back in 1 second. Well, to be fair, there's a lot of dwarves, playable dwarves from Kaladesh. And by playable, I mean, close to playable. Semi-playable. Baker Rage. All right, then. Trying to brew some kind of Strict Proctor, Torpor Orb, Eater of Days. Couldn't really get there. A lot of redundant effects like that. All right, so we have none of the trigger cards we need, but we do have a ton of the payoff cards. So the Bedlam Reveler kind of makes this a mulligan already. Yeah, this is not a modern hand. That's a modern hand. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Elves. Okay, this is going to be probably a tough game 1. They don't have a second land at all. Wow. So when they hit it next turn, how salty do I get to be? Fairly? Extremely? Let's take their 1/2 mana spell. Incredibly sketchy hand from them in Modern, where everyone's playing a ton of removal. They hit? Did they hit? They did not. Okay. So the real question is, do I... They did hit. Rats. That doesn't actually let them play anything new, though. I think I'm supposed to play Dreadhorde this turn. If they draw any 1 mana or 2 mana elf, or if they draw a land, they could start going nuts very quickly. However, I can't possibly discard enough cards. Yeah, well, but I need them to miss again, Jig, which they may do. But like, the problem with going the discard route is like they have 3 good cards in hand, like they're basically all very good cards. Shit. Oh no, other. So they don't go anywhere this turn. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. We're still in an okay spot. Not great, but okay. That might make things better real quick. We shall see. Oh, no problem, freak. Yeah, it was, I mean, I loved playing it. So, you know, how could I not? Young Peasy enters the battlefield. Inquisition. Yeah, they were a good time. If there's anything in particular that you think I could have improved on, etc., let me know. Do I have to let them keep Shaman? I can't let them keep Archdruid. That's like the number one, I guess. Shaman means they get to whack me for 5, but yeah. Oh, they can't cast it yet. Never mind. Do you want to let me kill your Heritage Druid? No, they're just bumping. That's fine. I've also been taking notes, freak, but I'm 4-1 right now in the Jeez. 4-1 in the Mana Traders. I beat Red Green Karn mid range, Lapless John, who beat me in the challenge. So I got revenge there. The only loss so far is to Blue Red Prowess. I won game 1, but game 2 and 3 they did they killed me on turn 4. Jeez. Gross. Why do we only have 1 Plague Engineer in our sideboard? Anyone? Bueller? God. And the Bedlam Reveler is actually not an easy cast in this deck at all. Yeah, I didn't know about that until after... No, that was the day where I was doing that, right? Yeah, that was the day where I was, in fact, doing that. So that should have been a change that I had made on that day. I think it helped a lot. So this costs 7 to pump your team +2/+2. The only way they can do that is by tapping that. Oh. Well, crap. I don't know why I thought that they... Oh, that was on top. Right, they have the Realm Walker right now. I forgot. Yeah. They can literally combo through their whole deck with what they have in play already. Okay, we know the top of their deck is a land, or it could be a Collected Company. You know, just understand that Valakut Awakening does not function very well as a land for that deck. One, two, three, four, five, six. They don't have enough mana to plus their team here. So in theory, I could kill their Realm Walker, but I trade so much that I die. Sorry, I trade so much that I'm unlikely to be able to win. We're just not winning from this point with basically any decision that I make. I'm going to stick in for one draw step to see if I pick up a piece of removal. In which case... Their team is just so damn big. Let's just reduce a little bit of damage. How did we lose? They top decked a Collected Company with exactly enough mana to cast it, Jiggy. And off it, they hit Elvish Warmaster and Realm Walker. That's it. It's Collected Company, man. It's always Collected Company. I meant to fetch there. I didn't. Yeah, we're just dead. It's always Collected Company. Collected Company crushes me. They had just enough mana, and they drew the one card. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's how it goes sometimes, my friend. That's how it goes. Luckily, we can correct a little bit in the sideboarding. I'm not convinced I'm actually cutting all the Thoughtseizes. I'm just thinking about it because I just want literally everything to be removal that can be. Well, if you look at the person who 5-0'd with the Velomachus turns list in the current deck dump freak, they weren't playing a Jace. They were playing the 4th Prismari command. Otherwise, it was identical to my list. In the main deck. I forget if their sideboard was closer to yours or closer to mine. Right. The Jace is bad. The Jace is not a good card in the deck. It's almost definitely the weakest card in the deck. It's there for a very specific purpose. I did beat Heliod in my first round of Mana Traders without having to Jace them, but I don't necessarily think that that means that it's something you don't want to have. I'm just saying I did do it. Yeah, it can do. I mean, I've literally never done it. But, like, I've never had an opportunity to do it. MTGO is very different from paper play. Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying on MTGO I have needed the Jace to win. Not yet, not in Mana Traders so far, but I have needed it in general. Ugh, what is this nonsense? Okay. They just kept the all land hand. Yeah, Prismari is kind of the nuts. Prismari's big game. second island didn't feel bad yet. I'm going to play Dreadbore this turn, and maybe Collective Brutality with Escalate next turn. This gives me the token for Village Rites next turn, plus I can then find the land, and then also have a little more gas in the tank. Yeah, I haven't cast Jace much in the deck at all, but again, it doesn't mean he's not worth keeping. It just means it is, as we have talked about multiple times, not a good card in the deck. Jeez. Well, there's the punish for using the Dreadbore last turn. Yep, you're correct, Gazmon48. Yep, that was the reason to hold Dreadbore. I completely goofed it because I was more concerned about having a card that set me up to take the Collected Company that I was thinking they were going to draw, that they could draw, as one of the best ways for them to get back in this game. But yes, that is 110% the punish for what I did. All right. I just need to play one mode here. Could attack first and just like see if they want to trade my Pyromancer. I guess because I have this in hand and because I'm okay with the trade here, and because I have that in hand, I can definitely just like say, hey, look, do you want to do that? Because I'll take it. I do not need to escalate this. For whatever reason in my mind, I was like, oh, Collective Brutality kills everything in their deck that I care about. All the elves have 2 toughness. I mean, I'm not going to say that that's exactly what I kind of planned on happening, but it's kind of exactly what I planned on happening. Let's go. I mean, we're not out of the woods yet. They've got a lot of mana, and they're going to keep going up. But Plague Engineer is going to be nice. Nail Sentinel probably off the top. It's really frustrating. It doesn't tell you where they're casting these from, so you find out how lucky they're getting. Not that it's relevant, but if you pay really close attention, you can see the number of cards in their hand change or not change. But that's like stupid. They're about to have a lot of 1/1s in play, and a 1/2. So I'm going to attack with my 2 elementals before I play the Plague Engineer. Because if they block with their 2/2s, then I get to wipe them out. I think that works out for me, generally. No, it's better to play defensively. Yeah. That's just being fancy. Fancy play syndrome. I do love my fancy play syndrome. Drew my 1 of Plague Engineer opponent. How do you feel? They're going to be fine. They're going to play like 3 Lords next turn. Just barely killed anything there. But Heritage Druid can't come in, and this really slows them down. Like, the velocity through their deck is actually limited by the amount of lands they have. So, jeez. Well, we no longer can kill the Realm Walker as long as they leave up 1 green. Where's Jiggy and Freak? They need to see the consistency of my horrifying luck. It's so consistent. So consistent. Opponent? I mean, they just cast a Heritage Druid into... Oh, they were clearing it off the top of their deck. I see what they were up to. I see you. I see you, opponent. Big Delvin coming. So we have to kill the Azuri first. Do they use 1 mana to regenerate the Realm Walker proactively? I would, if I were them. I don't know if they know that that's the thing they can do, but they can. It's a legal play. They do! Good for them. Could draw step the command? Yeah, I could have done. But then they'd have the Peat land to sacrifice in response if they really care. The reason I did it the way that I did it is I'm using Kroxa as a lightning bolt here. I'm playing it anyway this turn because I can get it back next turn, and it's like a fairly fast clock. Because what I need to do right now is close this game out. I need to get out of this game because they have enough set up that they can get through this pretty quickly. Oh, this is kind of a bad attack because they have the 1/2. Still. Yeah, that was bad. Sorry, too much going on. Okay, well, they got the Peat land. They're pretty limited on mana still. I think we're overall in a pretty good spot here. Although, that's really good for them. Too much going on in my 2-color mid-range deck. It's just in this game. There's just like they keep having all these things that make me need to deal with like really like the way everything's stacking and all these power and toughnesses are moving up and down and how I have to try to navigate this mess. Imagine doing this in paper. I mean, I've done stuff like it in paper. Well, now they have a metric flip ton of mana. I think I'm just supposed to play the Kroxa this turn.
Clang, clang, clang with the trolley. Ring, ring, ring with the bell. Zing, zing, zing with my heartstring.
Thank you.
Thanks for the follow there, Creasy. Creeche 775. If I had attacked first, I could probably get through for like 2 or so with my elementals, but I think I just have to hope that they... You don't hate killing the Realm Walker. How do I kill the Realm Walker? It's a 2/3. Because they ripped a Lord. They specifically found a Lord. I know it's really... Oh, no, it's all good. And now they have 6 mana, so they can overrun. Pretty dead here. Gazmon with the 100% correct point out earlier that leaving the Realm Walker possibility on the table was a huge mistake. I didn't realize how much it was going to be a mistake. I didn't think they would top deck it. I did think they were going to top deck a Collected Company, which I was correct about, and I played correctly to diffuse that the turn before that was relevant, but couldn't deal with this. And now they have... Oh my god, that's unreal! Another Archdruid off top? Oh my goodness. Disgusting. Disgusting. You flip. They still had enough mana to overrun. Good lord. Alright. Well, we're not winning that one without more Plague Engineers or a better draw. We drew a few too many 3-mana spells. Interesting to note, Blood Moon would have locked them out totally other than their creature mana. So, I'm not saying that it's correct, because they do play forests, but just a potential match where we could have done really... I think my round 1 opponent, too, would have gotten locked out by a Blood Moon. Although, not locked out. They were playing mono-red spells, a few of them, but... Heavily hosed. Heavily hosed. Is it working again? Let's see. Nope. Don't know why it's not. All right. Let's try and play it. Anywho. Oh, I bet I know what it is. Okay. Alrighty. Nicholas. Yeah, it's a fine hand. Pretty mopey. You thought about the Million Beans Award? No. No, I haven't. Well. Gonna get to find out how dead I am. Not that dead. Thank goodness. So, I have an Inquisition. Warping Whale actually does kill Dreadhorde Arcanist. Do I think they're likely to play a 1/1 Walking Ballista? No. And even if they do, it's not scary. So let's take the Warping Whale now. Then they play the Templar of the Mind. Then I play the Dreadhorde. Then they play the Thoughtseize, and I'm in trouble. I think I have to take the Thoughtseize and maybe slow roll my threats. Yeah. I was just looking, Shauna, to see if there was some sequence where I could get this Dreadhorde down. And they're high rolling. So the remaining cards are those three. Just play Kroxa this turn. Whorping Quail. Boy, I tell you, I love that Whorping Quail. Probably actually was worth just sacrificing a Dreadhorde Arcanist to the Warping Whale here. The Whorping Quail. TKS is the original Omnath 4. Don't at him. Don't do it. Discards at Urza's Mind. So that was the one unknown. Good draw. Okay. Nothing. Good. Yeah, this is the downside of what I did because now I don't have... Oh, I could Inquisition into the Dreadhorde? Oh, that's fine. That's what I wanted anyway. So I have Ballista and Ugin. So this is going to get my Thoughtseize next turn. It takes the Ugin. Good. Play a 2-2 Ballista. 2-2 Ballista can kill the Dreadhorde. Son of a bitch. Well, hopefully they don't draw their next Tron land. Eugene. No, I prefer Ugin. Thank you very much. Smasher? Yikes. Sedgemoor Witch is going to help out a little bit. Especially with that draw. Except I have to lose 2 life to get there. You know. All right. I got a high roll. Because this Ballista is problematic right now. Oh, they need to draw specifically the Tron land to play this Ugin? Yeah, okay. It's not so bad. Although I should have used the Inquisition for that. And not had to lose the life there. Everything's problematic. Yes, I'm aware. It's E-Tron. It's always been E-Tron. It's E-Tron all the way down. What's this modern metagame made of? It's E-Tron! It's always been E-Tron! Fire design midrange versus old school midrange. Okay. Now they're 1 land away. So let's go Cling to draw. Or Village Rites to draw. Village Rites to draw seems good. It's kind of fun. Eat a pest, gain a pest. Eat a pest, gain a pest. Eat a pest, well, you get it. Well, that's a good one. That's what we call a good one. Yep, that's it's gonna do it. Okay. Interesting choice. You know, just for that opponent, I think... What? Paying costs? What? Oh, dat member. Man, they are losing a lot of life for this one. Pay the life. And I'll play Cling. Yeah. I think they're going to go 1 here. Okay. I think at this point, All Is Dust is the only thing that beats me. Are they conceding? Big pause. Big pause. Oh, but they can't hit All Is Dust and the mana to cast it. And lo, Zachary cling to dust like a madman, or more particularly like a gravekeeper, but not the kind of gravekeeper you're thinking of. No, a much more pedestrian gravekeeper. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm saying those things. I thought they were kind of funny. I hope you did too. All right. The Gravest of Keeper. So Cling is generally not great. I mean, I liked it in that game, but cast All This Dust. One of the cards in their hand, though, the last card in their hand, Dredge the Bed, was Ugin, so they couldn't draw a temple. And no, they were down to. Oh, they had 5 mana. Yeah. But they couldn't draw the All Is Dust and the temple in 1 turn. Yeah, the last card was Ugin. Plague. So maybe I don't need extra Kolaghan's commands. Maybe what I should be doing is shifting off of some of my one mana spells. I mean, they were really good there, but like Thoughtseize probably could board out a couple, although both were important. Even though I misplayed one of them. Just board out a little bit of like some of these 1-drops. And then 1. Oh, the Inquisition. Yeah. Actually, Inquisition's just generally getting worse than Thoughtseize, I think. Even though life loss sucks. 1 second. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, hand's a keeper. Not great, but it's a keeper. Opponent mulls to 6. Opponent mulls to 5. Excellent. Everything's falling into place. Okay. What? That's a top deck and a half. Get out of here. 50% curry and none now. I don't actually have any 1-drops in my hand, but most of my deck is 1-drops, and we've got enough removal to deal with King Ballista. It's all coming up Millhouse. Okay, play the temple. Do it! Do it, you coward! If I have to play Plague Engineer on Construct, I will do it. Nice. That is what I wanted to draw. Ooh, good draw. So they have Ballista and the Temple in their hand. Well, this is fine. So the plan for now is Sedgemoor into Cleansing Wildfire, the Temple. Yeah, we have 3 kick commands for that. Yeah, I brought them all in, so they have 3. They're still holding the Temple because they know I'm on Cleansing Wildfire. They don't want to expose it. Okay. Hoping to draw a mana for Kroxa. If I shoot the Scavenger Ground and they sack it in response, they don't get anything. Blast Zone can't be cranked up high enough to be a problem right now. There's more black mana in the deck than red mana. So they're just doing that so they can crank their Blast Zone, I assume. So next Cleansing of Wildfire should actually be a Stone Rain, which is kind of great. Cantripping Stone Rain. Crank it. It's the correct response to telling them to crank it. Crank it. Straight that. I'm still only walking Ballista X2. Ballista X2 could kill my Sedgemoor Witch, but yeah. I think I'm supposed to take them off the Temple here. Triple Cleansing Wildfire draw is pretty good, huh? Yeah. Miss? Miss. Of course, we also miss, but I think our miss is a little less crappy. Super clunky hand. Immediately found Temple. Smashy? Smashy. I'm assuming no attacks. There's no way they attack. No way. They're attacking? You're mad, opponent. You're totally crazy. Wow. I mean, sure. It's legal. Yeah, that's... Jesus. We now return to Reality Smasher, starring in Death Wish 9. I wish I was dead. Oy. You need to block me? Not legal. Nobody knows what the Sedgemoor Witch does. But she does it! My hobby. It's videotaping couples when they're alone and they think they're in private. In America, it makes me a pervert, but every Scotsman does it. Soon to be restricted in Vintage? No. I know it's good with like things like Flusterstorm, but I can't believe Sedgemoor Witch would be good enough to be restricted in Vintage. Come on. This time they attack. Okay. I take it. I take it. Yikes. Bridge. Vermcoil engine. But this is very strange because they do not have enough mana. This is very strange. So Dreadbore's good. Just attack down the Karn. Hope they don't cast the Wormcoil. And if they cast the Wormcoil, cry. Is there a way I can actually make sure I close out this game? I think attacking them rather than the Karn. Dreadbore the Karn, make another pest. Then they could pop the Blast Zone to kill the Sedgemoor Witch, but then that puts them back a land on the Wormcoil. Dreadbore, Kroxa, hit them for 5, make a pest, puts them in position where the Kroxa coming back is going to discard them, and well, we'll see. All right. I think we're going to go for the most aggressive line that we can. I can't let the Karn stick around because it's going to get a bridge. Dealing with the Smasher is not a big deal at the moment because I've got a 3-power menace creature. They have to leave all their mana up if they want to deal with it. Why not just attack it down? Because that's damage I could be pointing at their face. Really close to closing this game out, and I need to do that before they draw the land and they play the Wormcoil. Once they do that, I'm pretty toast. Can't let them get a bridge. Which is really what I think they should have gotten there. I don't think they drew the land. What I'm looking at in this game is how do I win and how am I going to lose? If they gain life with the Wormcoil once, I'm basically toast. There's no way I can deal with the Wormcoil. I could play Bedlam Reveler this turn, which is really sad. Just discard 6 or maybe even 7, depending on what I draw. It's because I can't find lands. $20 lands in this deck is way too low. I think this is a 23 land deck for sure. Okay, they are literally in the position where they have to sacrifice this Blast Zone to live, or they have some removal spell in their hand. Either way. Someone who 5-0'd with it. So kudos to them. Opponent? There you go. Yeah. I'm just gonna play another one. Probably ran extra hot. I guess so, and just ran into a lot of creature decks. But not elves. Because they only had the one Plague Engineer. Like, I don't know, it's pretty crazy. You know the crazy thing too? If they have removal, they can't use it. Sedgemoor Witch has Ward, pay 3 life, and they're at 3. Walking Ballista doesn't do it. Dismember Super doesn't do it. It's kind of cool. This card is really, really reasonable. It was basically just carried me through that entire game. Not elves are the existentialist elf tribe. They ran into not elves, but not elves. They didn't run into the not elves. Yeah, the menace is a big deal. This deck isn't making any use of the Magecraft thing in the fact that copying triggers, and that's fine. You don't need to do that. That's excessive. If you were going to, there is a card that's 1 and a black. So what does Ward mean? Ward means as an additional cost to target this, your opponent has to pay whatever the ward cost is, or their thing is countered. So Ward, pay 3 life means if they want to target it, there's a trigger that goes on the stack that says, hey, pay this, or this you're going to get countered. Not an additional cost, correct. It is a trigger. You're right. I'm just explaining with words instead of with specific jargon. But it is a trigger. Abrupt Decay and Ward, lol. Yeah, you don't have to pay. But you can choose to pay. Yeah. So we're on the draw with this, but we're on a 20 land deck. And we have 8 discard spells. Better. I think the Bedlam Revelers in this deck are super sus with how many instants and sorceries there are. So at the end, I will propose a rebuild. Oh man, more Eldrazi. Well, I got a pretty good hand. Karen, Dat member. Yeah, we're taking the member. And then we play Dreadhorde, and then we play Pyromancer. It's also worth pointing out we had a pretty phenomenal draw last in the second game. The lands were crap, like we couldn't find lands to save our life. But the chain of wildfires in the beginning was the nuts. Like that was pretty egregious. So they didn't play either of the lands they had in their hands. They drew a tower. They didn't fetch? Why didn't you fetch? Oh, they're looking to draw one more Tron piece. I see. You're crazy. Wait, what? What did you draw? Oh my god. What a top deck. That protects their Karn now. Oh, man. What? That's just the worst. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to take any damage for this. So. What a draw. Jeez. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, no. No, I'm actually playing a mid-range deck. You matter. Stop mattering. There we go. Did I have to cast it? I did not have to cast it. I chose to cast it. So they have 1 card in hand now, so I'm going to go Shatter Discard. They could map in response. I wonder if I go end step, are they going to activate the map? I can let them play Karn on this board, right? We go Shatter discard. If they put a land in their hand and then immediately discard it, that's fine. And we're just not attacking this turn. But then we have Bolt into Flashback Bolt next turn. Yeah. Okay. This is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. They did not search in response. Interesting. It's not okay, but it's okay. Well, they're going to have Tron. Thus far, nothing to do with it, but they're going to have Tron. We're going to have a reasonably fast clock, but yeah, this hand is not coming together. Village Rites would turn this around in a hurry, but... Badger Shaper is the original Sedgemoor Witch. You are not wrong. Right. Nothing insane. Please. Smasher. Smasher's fine. Smasher is fine. I'm not thrilled about it, but it's fine. They will have the Blast Zone on 2 next turn, but they won't. Oh, no. They'll have the mana. 7, 8, 9, 10. 11. Yeah, they're going to have enough mana. They're going to have more than enough mana to play Smasher and also pop Blast Zone on 2. But we've got a bunch of elementals. It might be good enough. We'll see. Yeah. So they fetch their last Tron piece, they crank the Blast Zone, and then they have a draw. Pretty bad situation, but at least we've got 4 elementals in play. Village Rites is probably our best top deck. Unless they have a Chalice. Yeah. One Smasher Boy. Pyromancer put 4 power into play. This is pretty fantastic. Oh, yeah. No fear. Oh, yeah. No fear. All this dust. Crap. Mind Stone? Chalice? Nope. Okay. Push it to 4? Okay. Hold the card for Thoughtseize. Yep. Alright, opponent. You're not allowed to draw Walking Ballista or card. Nope. Nope. No. 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 God damn it. Bullshit. That card is just insane. Village Rites. Oh. Okay. Pop your Blast Zone now, nerd. Do it! I want you to hit me as hard as you can. Draws Chalice, plays at X2. Boo. Passes the turn. I don't have an out for Kroxa. You don't have an out for Kroxa. You're lying to me. You're absolutely lying to me. Yeah. Oh, they're out to Kroxa was to discard to it and then draw again. I see. They're gonna make me cast it? Sure. Opponent's a trooper? I mean, not having conceded by this point is not being a trooper, but so lucky. So lucky. Oh, you got him. You got him. Kroxa down. Kroxa down! Kroxa down! Oh god! He's dead! Why? I just want to take game actions. That's fair. That's fair. They multi 5. I mean, they deserve game actions. Okay, Clang. It was like Inquisition, Thoughtseize, Village Rites. Maybe push is kind of bad. Because it doesn't push damage. I think this is exactly what I did last time, and then I ended up... let's see, I wanted to cut the 2 Inquisitions, keep another Thoughtseize. Is Witch worth playing, not Lurith? Well, we're also playing Bedlam Reveler. We're also playing Plague Engineer on the sideboard. But that is a very good question, Shauna. In my experience so far with this deck, I would say absolutely the Witch is quite good. And how good Lurrus is in a black-red Pyromancer shell is not super well known, I think, because nobody's playing. Why am I playing this card? Is this for this matchup? And then I guess I bring in the K commands, and I guess this is the right way to sideboard. I guess it has to be. Yeah, the Reveler in this deck, I think, is some nonsense. I think. We haven't cast one yet, and it's been in our hand multiple times. Dreadbore has been phenomenal. That thing is coming clutch repeatedly. So, super happy about that one. And Plague is probably not that good here. Out to Wormcoil. This deck can't beat that card. Oh, that's true. Yeah, it exiles. That is fair. That is fair. This hand is not particularly good. They kept their 7. I don't think I can keep this 7 against their 7. I can keep this 7. It's not particularly good, but I can keep it. Magic the Tokening. I mean, I think Magic the Toking is a pretty good game too, Jiggy. I think some people would agree with you on the first one. Sure. Opponent disconnected. Interesting. So Mind Stone, they could just stroll up to TKS or Karn. Karn, I'm not so worried about. Stone Range? Nah, they're not getting Stone Range. They haven't played any wastes yet. All right, opponent's back. Most of the decks are on 2 wastes right now, so you need to see a couple of those first. They're never likely to fetch them, so the fact if they draw them or not is fairly unlikely. Okay, I'm glad I bought them to land because we've drawn 2. Drawn 3. Is Mind Stone like a kidney stone? You have to pass it through pain and perseverance. I assume so. Well, that's terribly unfortunate. Mostly because they get to see how bad my hand is. I think they take the bolt. I would take the lightning bolt. Takes the K command. I'm wondering if that means they have a plan. In this game, we're flooding out. Yikes. So I can kill their Thoughtseer with this, but I'm assuming they have a Chalice to play. OG Omnath strikes again. The original gangsta. No, we all know who the original gangster is. Jets. Last night when I was losing my shit laughing at this card, I have to remind everyone, I didn't even read it. Today was the first time I read that card, and I was enthused. Last night I just totally lost it. Just the image, just the visual just slayed me. It was phenomenal. Oh, there we go. That's a draw. Oh, I'm doing it. All his dust enters the revealed zone. I'm not casting the lightning bolt with Dreadhorde this turn. Oh, they have removal? Sweet. It's fine. I wanted to cast this anyway. Kind of. Whee! Ding, ding, ding. Oh, yeah. Get wrecked, nerd. Yeah. Woo! That's a draw and a half. So, for priority reasons, we're going to go Sedgemoor Witch. Opponent's reading. 3 for 1 tribal beats 2 for 1 tribal. But how many 2 for 1 pizzas do we need for our team? I'm assuming several. Oh, it's so good. They had the All Is Dust. I don't need to cast this right now. Sorry, they had the land to play the All Is Dust. That's so good. That's not, though. That's terrifying. Nice. Nice. I drew something. Oh, that's not nice. That's not nice at all. Nice you. Nice. Dancer. Alright. So they've showed us the 2 ways. So if I draw Cleansing Wildfire here, we're good to go. I can attack first and then cast this Village Rites into their Chalice and remember that that's not something that's going to work and feel like an idiot. Or I could just not play the Village Rites. I think that's probably a good idea. There's basically no reason to ever cast this. Well, I can cast it to, the hell? Oh, they're just cranking now? Sure. I can cast it to trigger the Witch. No, I'm going to cast it because it'll trigger Witch, even though they'll blow it up right afterwards. Maybe I won't. No, I want to make them use the Blast Zone. Unfortunately, I'm not going to cast it. But I am going to cast this Bedlam Reveler. Maybe it's a prowess trigger? What? No, I know, but I have to sack an additional creature to play this card. It doesn't reduce the cost of Bedlam Reveler right now. So I could sack a pest and make a pest, but that's actually going to cost me more mana this turn. No, it's not. You don't. Yeah, I don't need one extra life. I would prefer to have the mana for post Reveler. I'm about to draw 3 cards. This could be a big deal. Like KCOM plus Lightning Bolt would be great. Cleansing Wildfire, good. Very good. Very, very good. Unbelievably great. If your body needs extra life. There's a whole charity called Extra Life, Zach. You fucking nerd. It is literally. It's not only about Canada. It's about Toronto. Okay, these cards I kind of want to play. I've already gotten through one of their All Is Dusts, so the only thing that really punishes me for this is the other All Is Dust or Walking Ballista. Having less prowess triggers less next turn is maybe relevant, but I'm assuming what I need to dodge right now is a creature. Scott Pilgrim is oot and a boot. Oh yeah, he might be then. Oh yeah. Good draw there. Opponent's being a trooper again, you know. No concession for them. They like to play it all the way out to the end. Got him. Man, we seem to have a good matchup against each. Wow. We're 3-1 with this deck. I did not expect it. This is Saskatchewan. It's close to Northern Ontario, but that's more of Minnesota. Northern Ontario, you know. Coming down from Northern Ontario, we were up around the lakes, doing a bit of hunting, you know. It's good stuff up in there. Good stuff, eh? Good stuff. Absolutely great. If you listen to the documentary Beyond the Lighted Stage, which is about Rush, there's a couple sections where they're talking to people in line for a Rush concert, and they sound exactly like that. It's great. They sound a lot like Minnesotans, or Maud Flanders for Simpsons fans. Reverend Stroop for the King of the Hill fans. Oh geez, is this Jund? Nope, some kind of red-green deck with Goblin Guides. People are playing some spice today. Jeez Louise. This is the good stuff right there. You'll see some Burning Tree Shamans. Sound like the Minnesotans. It's not dissimilar. It's really not. Can I see Russia from my house? Not from my house. From my neighbor's house. Yeah, Sarah Palin also kind of sounds similar. She's from I watched a video that talked about where she's from, and it's a valley area in Alaska, and there was a big influx of people from Minnesota and Wisconsin at one point. No, not Minnesota. Wisconsin. And they settled the area. Wisconsin. Like Pickles. Pickles the drummer. For that Metalocalypse band. Pretty good band, you know. I mean, I'm a fan. Yeah. So we are not the beatdown in this matchup. Against Etron, we were the beatdown almost every single game, if people were paying attention. But I guess some kind of wild Macattle deck. Crazy. I don't know why people are playing this so much right now. They have 3 mountains in play. They could go get Dwarven Mine. Yikers. Thunder Bay on the radio, yeah. Yeah, Thunder Bay is, yeah. That's some Northern Ontario. That's Northern Ontario right there. The second Searing Blaze? Atarka's Command. Oh, they stopped me from gaining life. That's so rude. They're on 0 cards now, so. I think I just get this off the board, yeah. I could draw step K command, but it's pretty easy for them to just pick up a burn spell. So we're just gonna plunk this now. Then fetch a tap land. Yep. That's a sorcery speed burn spell, so that wouldn't have done it, but we can start clinging too. All right. This is actually an ideal matchup for this deck. This is exactly the kind of thing we were hoping to run into. I'm just going to play the Cling now. I know it means I don't get to keep it, but I'm okay with that. I just want to go up some life here. Hopefully they don't have literally another Atarka's Command in their hand. Doesn't look like it. Nope. Okay. And we pivoted. Yeah. That's a pretty weak hand for their kind of deck. They had 4 lands. That's far too many. We have Collective Brutality coming out of the board here though, so that's kind of nice. Deathmark. I didn't see any green creatures. Nah. I'll just get the Thoughtseizes out. How would Mentor feel instead of Witch? I would not like it anywhere near as much. Witch having Menace has been a big deal. And the life gain has been not a big deal yet. I don't know. I just think mana issues aside is not really something I consider. But I've really liked having the 3/2 by default, like without me needing to trigger it. Sand has no removal. We can discard a creature and then eat it, though. We can always draw into our infinite amount of removal, and we can fetch a tap land. All right. I'm specking. Oh yeah. I mean, I think Mentor would be better probably, but I've been really enjoying the Witch. But it is new and novel, so take that with a grain of salt. Oh, that doesn't help me. Sorry. Witch seems intriguing. Would you say if you were running Lurrus main board, would you go Witch or Pyromancer? I don't think I understand the question properly. I think Lurrus brings along a lot of things that you'd want to play in your main board that I am comfortable not playing right now. So I'm not entirely sure how that would look. I think Witch and Pyromancer go really nicely in the same deck. So they have 2 Searing Blazes and X in their hand. So I'm going to use Kolaghan's Command to kill this and have them discard a card. Assuming the X is not a 1-mana spell they can play. Should work out. Yeah. Got him. Thunderous Wrath. Oh my god. Brutality. Wow. Yeah, that was something. What did they discard? Sacred Foundry. So their hand is 2 Searing Blazes. That's terrifying. Luckily I can start gaining some life here. So I just straight up can't play any creatures for the moment. Which is fine. Before they draw anything that matters. Yeah, we got wrecked, but we can grind out of this. Cling to Dust is going to do a lot of work this game. A lot of work. I don't have enough cards in there yet. So I can play Sedgemoor Witch. They can Searing Blaze it. I can make 1 creature in response. Searing Blaze will still connect even if I sack the Witch in response. I think I'm just going to wait a turn and go... Hopefully they'll finally play a creature. I can go Bolt and then Flashback Cling to Dust. Seems great. Well, I'm just slightly low. I'd prefer if they played out another creature here. This is probably the turn where I should have been proactive. Yeah, you still take the damage. That's the problem. Now they could hold priority and go double Searing Blaze. They have enough mana. They have Collected Company. Leyline of Combustion. Whenever you or at least 1 permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability, deals 2 damage. All right, so go Bolt. Bolt. So I have to take 2 damage to get rid of their Searing Blaze. I think it's worth it. So I play the Sedgemoor Witch, we eat their Searing Blaze, and get a 1/1 that gains me life. They play the other Searing Blaze, but they don't have another land. So they need to find a land. Which they're unlikely. Does this also have some kind of activated ability? Nope. Okay. So that's what we're doing. Good luck, Godspeed, opponent. They haven't hit creatures in a while. Jeez. Immediately hits land. Oh yeah. They're almost dead though. Second Witch is going to end them in a hurry. The Ward 3 has been phenomenal in this deck. Like, I have been really impressed by that. I was not expecting it to be like relevant at all, and it's been like A++. It's you can hear them internally screaming right now. It's great. Good sound. They're just sitting there being like, oh my god, that's exactly what I needed. It's not good enough. Black Reach is great. Yeah. All right, opponent, get dunked on. So if they draw a bolt of any kind, we Village Rites our pest in response. If they attack here, I can just take it. They don't know. They don't know. Well, if you don't know, now you know. Or you're about to. I mean, fuck the color pie. Black allowed to have reach. Black has had reach for a long time. You guys want to see something fun? Enjoy, opponent. Enjoy your knowledge. Oh, no, they knew. So, that was a shocking 4-1. We got really lucky. Bedlam Reveler was a little more impressive than I thought it was going to be, but let's go talk about it. So we did 4-1. Man, I don't know. We flooded out in some games. We were mana starved in some games. 20 lands doesn't seem like enough. Village Rites can theoretically get you there. The dwarf deck we played in round 1 was pretty speculative. So, dude was a fan of Faithless Brewing and knew who I was, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he's playing a pretty spicy, crazy deck that is exactly super vulnerable against us and did kill us in game 1. So the real Scrody, I would recommend you check out Black Red Midrange from the most recent PTQ. So let's take a look at that in comparison and see what that looks like and my feelings on that. Because, as I said before, like a lack of Blood Moon here makes me a little nervous. And obviously the Cleansing Wildfire in the sideboard did quite well for us. So we've got Liliana, Dark Confidant, Kroxa, Magmatic Channeler, and Seasoned Pyromancer. So these cards are phenomenally good. And the biggest difference with this deck versus the one we just played is this one has a little bit higher individual card quality and a little bit lower synergy. It's nowhere near as cool, and I fully admit that. There's no Dreadhorde Arcanists, there's no Young Pyromancers, and there's no Sedgemoor Witches. But what there is just good, solid, modern construction. So real Scrody, I think this deck is very likely good. This is 9th place in the modern PTQ on Monday. So this deck, this is the one. This is your black-red Mardu Pyromancer kind of deck. And as I mentioned for Blood Moons, this is like just a big deal with all the 5-color Scapeshift decks and stuff. We dodged that matchup entirely in this league. We did beat up on Etron twice, which was sweet, as well as a burn deck. And so, yeah, Arcanist in Modern's just not it. And this deck is cool, and when everything comes together and you dodge the right amount of removal and you do that, and then you do that, well, then you can make it. But overall, I don't think most people will be as lucky as I was in that league. So I just want to emphasize that, like, if you take this out, don't expect a 4-1. Don't expect a 3-2. I was ready to 0-5 in Modern with this deck, to be perfectly honest. Been on the Blue Moon shells lately. Yeah, Blue Moon's a great deck right now. But speaking of great decks right now, we are going to switch over to the incredibly impressive BTL Lurrus control from the one and only Aspiring Spike. He's been tearing it up with this deck, so we're going to go give this one a shot in just a moment here on the Mana Symbol channel. But for anyone in the future who's watching the Black Red Pyromancer video on the YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, check out any of my other videos you're interested in, and I will see you over there. And for everyone who's live, we are moving on to this one. But first,